The camera flashes began long before Ginny and Jayna stepped onto the stage, but no amount of media anticipation could prepare fans for what was about to unfold. For months, whispers had turned into theories, theories had turned into edits, and edits had turned into millions of views. Their undeniable chemistry, their stolen glances, their subtle touches, everything pointed to something deeper than a professional partnership. Yet nothing had ever been confirmed. Nothing had ever crossed the thin line between speculation and truth. Until tonight. The award show hall was packed, the air thick with excitement. Every table was filled with artists, managers, directors, influencers, and industry elites. But even among all these stars, everyone knew who the night belonged to. Ginny and Jayna. The moment their names were announced as the winners for Best Rising Duo, the room erupted, not simply because of their talent, but because fans felt something significant was finally about to happen. Ginny rose from her seat first, visibly emotional, her eyes shining under the lights. Jayna stood beside her, the faintest smile curling at her lips, the kind of smile people only reserve for someone they hold close. As they walked hand in hand toward the stage, the audience noticed it, their fingers interlocked naturally, tightly, like they had held each other 1,000 times before. The crowd gasped. Phones shot up like a synchronized wave. The internet began recording, stitching, clipping, exploding in real time. Once on stage, Ginny took the microphone. She tried to speak, but her voice caught in her throat. Jayna gently squeezed her hand as if saying, "I'm here. Take your time." Ginny laughed nervously, wiping a tear, and began telling the story of how their journey started, not with fame, but with a genuine friendship that grew during their earliest training days. She talked about late-night rehearsals, how Jayna always encouraged her, how she found strength simply knowing Jayna was by her side. Fans listened closely, feeling the sincerity behind every word. But the real shift happened when Jayna stepped forward to speak. Her tone was calm, honest, grounded. She said she wanted to be transparent for the first time, that hiding had been harder with each passing month. She spoke about the pressure they felt, the expectations, the secret moments of fear, and the thousands of unspoken things they had carried for too long. Then, she paused and looked directly at Ginny, not at the audience, not at the cameras, but at Ginny. The whole room fell still. What Jayna said next was something no one, especially the industry, expected. She admitted that what they shared was not just partnership, not just friendship, not just good on-screen chemistry. She said it had grown into something deeper, something real, something neither of them wanted to hide anymore. She ended her statement with a soft, confident declaration, "We are together, and we choose each other." For a second, the venue was silent, not because people were confused, but because the weight of that moment stunned everyone. Then the entire hall erupted into applause so thunderous it shook the stage floor. Some performers were crying. Others were cheering. On social media, their confession instantly trended in over 20 countries within minutes. Fans created edits and captions like they finally did it, "Love won, Ginny forever," and we witnessed history. Ginny stepped forward again, visibly overwhelmed but glowing with relief. She explained how difficult the last year had been, balancing fame, pressure, fan expectations, and the constant fear of being exposed. She confessed that she was tired of pretending Jayna was just a colleague when, in truth, Jayna had been the person she leaned on the most, the person she loved most deeply. Jayna reached up and brushed a tear from Ginny's cheek. The cameras zoomed in, capturing the moment that would later become one of the most replayed clips across every platform. They thanked their families for supporting them. They thanked fans for believing in their bond long before they admitted it themselves. They thanked their agency for allowing them to speak truthfully. And then something unexpected happened. The lights dimmed and a tribute montage flashed across the screen. Video clips from their earliest interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, fun challenges, rehearsals, and private unseen moments filled the hall. It was as if the entire award show had planned this unveiling. When the lights came up again, Ginny and Jayna were still holding hands. They bowed deeply to the audience. And when they lifted their heads, Jayna leaned in and gently kissed Ginny on the forehead. It wasn't dramatic or exaggerated. It was soft, intimate, full of meaning. The audience screamed. Fans cried. Reporters scrambled to capture every angle. The internet completely broke. After stepping off stage, they were rushed backstage through a corridor flooded with crew members who congratulated them. Jayna kept her hand at the small of Ginny's back, guiding her with gentle protectiveness. Even off camera, they were inseparable. In one candid moment, Ginny turned to Jayna and whispered, "Are you okay?" Jayna nodded and replied, "Now that we're honest, I'm more than okay." Their dressing room became a safe corner amid the chaos. They sat together in silence, absorbing the magnitude of what they had just done. Ginny leaned her head on Jayna's shoulder. Jayna intertwined their hands again, rubbing gentle circles with her thumb. They didn't need words. The world finally knew. And for the first time, they didn't have to hide. Meanwhile, online reaction reached historic levels. Hashtags like Ginny Jayna official, love wins again, the announcement, and history made tonight trended simultaneously across multiple platforms. Fans began analyzing every moment, the hand squeeze, the forehead kiss, the speech, the smiles, the tears, the way they looked at each other. Celebrities began posting congratulatory messages. Even rival fandoms united for the first time, agreeing that what they witnessed was authentic, brave, and beautiful. The streaming platforms replayed the announcement clip on loop. Some fans organized virtual watch parties. Others created tributes, fan art, animations, and long essays discussing why Ginny and Jayna's love story mattered. Many said they felt inspired, hopeful, and emotional. Later that night, Ginny and Jayna uploaded a joint post on their social media accounts. Just a simple picture of their intertwined hands with a caption that read, "Thank you for letting us be ourselves." Within 5 minutes, it surpassed 1 million likes. As they left the venue hours later, the paparazzi lights flashed again. But this time Ginny didn't flinch. Jayna didn't look away. They walked out proudly, side by side, hands tightly intertwined under the midnight sky. Their security team cleared the path, but the couple didn't rush. They walked slowly, as if savoring the freedom they had finally earned. For the fans watching, it felt like witnessing the beginning of a new chapter. A chapter not built on rumors or theories, but on truth, courage, and love. And as the night came to an end, one thing became clear. This moment, this confession, would be remembered as one of the most iconic reveals in fandom history. The moment Ginny and Jayna stepped into the after-party hall, hands still gently interlocked, the entire room shifted. Conversations dropped. Cameras slowly rose. And for the first time since their confession went public, the world saw them not as stars, not as idols, not as co-actors, but as two people in love who finally chose themselves. They moved quietly to a corner table, but attention followed them like a spotlight. Everyone wanted a glimpse, everyone wanted to confirm for themselves what had just dominated the internet only minutes earlier. Ginny leaned closer and whispered, "Are you sure you're okay? You've been shaking since we walked off stage." Jayna gave a small, breathless laugh. "Of course I'm shaking. I just told the entire world I'm in love with you." Ginny's expression softened instantly. Something inside her melted, because for the first time, Jayna wasn't hiding, wasn't hesitating, wasn't afraid of consequences. She was simply telling the truth. Ginny brushed a stray hair behind Jayna's ear and murmured, "You didn't just tell them, you showed them." That backstage kiss, the tremble in Jayna's voice, the way Ginny's hand never left hers, it all replayed over and over across social media. Fan edits were already flooding the timeline, memes were appearing by the second, and hashtags had blown past 1 million posts in under 10 minutes. But here, away from the screaming notifications and live updates, the two of them existed in a bubble, small, fragile, and unbelievably intimate. Jayna leaned back in her chair, exhaling deeply. "Do you think people will understand now? Everything we couldn't say, everything we tried so hard to hide." Ginny reached across the table, taking Jayna's hand again, not as an actress comforting a co-star, but as someone who had waited too long to be this open. "They don't have to understand," Ginny replied softly. "They just have to see the truth." And tonight, they finally did. Jayna looked down, overwhelmed by the weight of everything that had happened in the past hour. "I thought you would stop me," she whispered. "I thought you'd pull away." Ginny shook her head. "I stopped pulling away a long time ago." The confession hung in the air, warm and heavy. Just then, their manager approached, visibly nervous. "Girls, you need to know something," he whispered. The networks are calling. Every major platform wants a live interview. Some brands are already reaching out. And you've broken 14 worldwide trends in under 20 minutes. Jayna blinked, stunned. 14. 15 now, the manager corrected as his phone buzzed again. And counting. Ginny exchanged a glance with Jayna, the kind of glance that carried both fear and courage. They knew this was only the beginning. Inside the party, whispers grew louder. Some people celebrated them openly. Others watched with a mix of shock and uncertainty. But the energy was unmistakable. Something historic had just happened. Jayna clasped Ginny's hand tighter. Whatever happens next, we do it together. Right? Ginny nodded without hesitation. Together. Always together. Fans outside were still screaming their names. Flashing lights poured through the windows. The entire building felt like it was vibrating from the online explosion happening in real time. And yet, in the middle of all this noise, Ginny leaned forward and whispered something so simple it almost broke Jayna. Thank you for choosing me tonight. Jayna's eyes shimmered. I chose you long before tonight. I just finally said it out loud. Their foreheads touched gently, unnoticed by the crowd, unnoticed by the cameras, just for them. And in that second, everything shifted. Not because they confessed publicly, not because they broke the internet, not because their careers were about to change forever, but because for the first time, Ginny and Jayna were exactly where they always wanted to be, side by side, with nothing left to hide. And as the world waited outside, breathless and hungry for more, Ginny whispered one last promise. This is only the beginning.